Hey, good morning everybody. You have to see this box that showed up on my doorstep, just like this, from Tracksmith. It's the Eliot runner, and I didn't get the shoe for free. It wasn't sent to me as part of a media box. It wasn't a pre-order. I just bought it directly online after the pre-orders had ended. And I just want to share, what comes in the box. I am going to go for a run today. I'm actually going to do a workout. It's a little bit wet, so I am curious to see how the outsole holds up in wet weather on a wet track. And let's just put it to the test. It's a beautiful shoe, I'll tell you that. So I'll go inside and show you the unboxing, and we'll go do our workout. And I'll give you some first thoughts on the shoe, but ultimately you just have to see what's in the box and what kind of work they put into this thing, for better or worse. Let's talk about this thing. First off, you can really see how large the box is, which is what surprised me when it was on the stoop. It's just much bigger than a normal shoe box, and I knew the only thing I ordered was a pair of shoes, so it was a little confusing why it was so big. When you finally open up the box, you can see that everything was tucked inside. It was moving around a little bit. There's no packing materials, but you do get this big image of just the woods and the forest. And it's pretty neat. Again, this whole unboxing is really more of an experience when you get the shoes. I don't know if the shoes are truly going to be worth it in performance, but it's, again, just an interesting experience and an interesting look in the first shoe from Tracksmith. And I personally feel, as someone who's bought their stuff before, their shorts, tights, tops, jackets, it fits the brand and the vibe I think that they try and create pretty much to a T. You do get a little sticker, and your receipt just comes inside of this fancy little envelope. Again, just very over the top. You don't need to put a packing slip inside of an envelope, but they do. And the last thing that you also get in the box besides the shoe is this big poster, which is essentially like a calendar. It has every one of the months going around in a circle, moving in towards December. And there's also essentially like a poem in the middle that kind of goes from the first word is fresh, and then so you see fresh tracks in the snow, and then each dash indicates where to start the new line. So interesting poster, just again over the top packaging and what you get in the box. When you look at the shoe themselves, you can see it is essentially unisex, and the only color I think is out right now is called Ivory Navy. When you move into the actual shoe box, you get essentially a bib, which is the number of the shoe created. So the first shoes that were created by Tracksmith, there were 2,022 of them, so you know which number or pair you got out of that batch. And then when you look at the shoe itself, it's just absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's truly top quality. It's almost like designer quality. Again, is that something you really need to pay for in a running shoe? Probably not, but the quality is just there, and you really start to understand, why they're charging the price that they're charging for a running shoe. It's more about the looks and the feel and that just, bougie, high-end aspect of everything inside the box and that they've created. I think it is very nice. I see the labor and the effort that goes into it that makes it, worth $200 from like a fashion standpoint, but it's just hard to justify from a running performance standpoint with a lot of the other shoes out there. Is this really going to top the others? Is it worth spending that extra money? I think at this point it's more about quality and aesthetics than performance. Now you can see the Pebax insole. There is this thick insole that has a different density and softer foam compared to the Pebax foam that's in the actual midsole of the shoe. It's to create that feel that they're trying to describe as like running on a forest path on a bed of pine needles. That's what they're going for. We'll definitely see if that's true. But again, softer Pebax insole like the foam in a Nike Alpha Fly, Vaporfly, not quite as soft as that, but still a softer foam on the insole, and again firmer on the midsole, and the outsole rubber really firms it up as well. But that's really it as far as the unboxing. I know other brands or groups or YouTubers received versions of the shoe with things like a journal. This is all I got. Again, this was not a pre-order. This was not a media pack. This was not sent to me for free. This was just purchased when I received an email that they were back in stock maybe a week ago. and I went ahead and bought them myself. So this is what you probably will see in a general box. It might be the same for the pre-orders as well, but again, just a sale. This is what I got in the box.
All right, so here we go on the roads with the Tracksmith Eliot Runner. So far so good in these shoes. It does feel nice, and I'll talk more about it at the end, but just for now, so far so good. Let's get into the track workout, and I'll give you some full thoughts of my experience in the first run in the Tracksmith Eliot. All right, so what were we doing today? We did a 2-mile warm-up to the track, followed by 4 by 400 meters at my repetition pace. And each of the 400 meters had a 400-meter rest lap in between each fast rep. Now I'm just doing 2 miles easy, or a cool down, to give me 6 miles on the day. And I always share my training plan, but this is kind of a workout specific for me because of my hamstring tendon. I didn't want to do too much at those faster paces. More regular miles mixed in with 4 by 400, giving us 6 miles total, and a nice solid little bit of work as we train for the New York City Half Marathon at quicker paces. All right, guys, that's it. So 6 miles total for today, about 9:20 per mile for the run overall, including the fast reps and recovery. Happy with the shoe. I think it's a good daily trainer, just right off the top of my head. If you blindfolded someone and said, hey, put on these shoes, and it was like the Nova Blast, the Saucony Triumph, and the Tracksmith Eliot, would you think one is worth more money? Probably not. Not blindfolded, not without seeing the shoe. But was it enjoyable? Yes. And I kind of laughed to myself. Does it feel, if you know that it's supposed to feel like running on pine needles on like a forest trail? It kind of does. Like, they did a good job mimicking that feeling. Once you know that's what they're going for, you wouldn't get that without any knowledge that that's what it's supposed to feel like. But it's a shoe that I guess I would best describe it as doesn't do the work for you, but it's very comfortable in letting you go through the running and your motions and your own effort without the shoe doing the work for you. And for me, usually that means a shoe that feels very dead. It actually kind of takes energy from you. This is one of the more neutral shoes I've ever felt. It just feels like it gives you exactly what you need. You go out, you go for your run. It's not doing the work for you, but it's still got a little bit of cushion and just enough bounce to make it feel like it's not taking something from you. So that's the initial feeling. The outsole, does it grip well on the wet pavement? It's fine. Does it grip well on the wet track? Not so much, but it's actually designed to grip more on like a dirt path on the side of a running path in the woods or something like that. So that's the intention, that gravel or sand or dirt on the side of a running trail where you might, go to get some softer ground. That's what the traction is built for. So it works for that. It's not a shoe that I would use again for like a track workout or faster paces. It's just a good daily trainer. So the big question, the elephant in the room, do I think it's worth the money right off the bat? Dollar for dollar, performance, running shoe wise, no. It's right there with everything else that's priced between like $120 and $150, and this is $198, I believe. So it's not worth it dollar for dollar performance wise. The feel of it, the look of it, the fact that it looks like a shoe that should go on the shelf, I see where the price is worth it to some extent. And I see where the quality is built into the shoe that would make it a price that's much more expensive than some other shoes. You need to decide for yourself if that's worth it to actually purchase and go for a run. And, you know, my advisement is no. Again, running performance wise, no. Looks, feel, the coolness of it, maybe.